Now, saying I'm sorry is just so hard for some people. It's like they lose a limb, they donate an organ with no anesthetic. It's hard. And for some people, it's not. But for some people, it is worse than death. I remember as a kid one time, I'm not going to name no names, but I remember one time there was something that somebody thought that I did. Again, I'm not naming no names. You know who you are. And Chad, I got the whooping of my life. And then when somebody else came around, they were like, "Oh no, she didn't do that. I did. I'm sorry." And then I just looked. So you gonna apologize? Without saying the words, because I was gonna get in a world of trouble. This is not the era of gentle parenting. Sorry, I was born in the 80s. I just looked and I waited. You not gonna apologize? Literally, my face said it all. And child, I got responded to with something like, "You want some pancakes?" The toxic things you learn through childhood experiences. Mess is what it was. But as funny as that is, child, that stuff carries with you. It follows you. These types of things can follow you even into adulthood. I realized that some of us really suck at apologizing. If I were to think about it, I would say maybe like there's a couple of apologizers that come to mind. Please drop into the comments like any other types of apologies that you've seen or experienced before. But there's a normal one. Well, my normal. Okay. Admission of guilt. Dang, I messed up. I'm sorry. Keep it moving. I ain't lose nothing. We could be cool, whatever. I have enough confidence in, myself and my values. I just admit guilt. It didn't change my value or nothing, whatever. And I even will apologize to my kids if I drop the ball. Some people that won't. And then there is the I plead the fifth type apology. Avoid it at all costs. It's hot. Don't do it. Don't admit nothing. Just act like, y'all cool again. It's implied. Yeah, I got some experience with that one. I just struggle with it though. I really do. I struggle with it. I struggle with it. They tend to maybe apologize through things like, so you want some pancakes? So you want some juice? You want a crab? Everything but. I don't want to hear I'm sorry. And I don't know. I want to hear I'm sorry though. I want you to say it. There's nothing wrong with owning it. Doesn't change your value. It actually probably makes me respect you even more. And then there's the delayed reaction. That is like the Mr. or Mrs. coming in hot. It's like, Chad, you needed a moment to process it. Okay. At least delayed is not denied. But I need you to get that together too. Nevertheless, it happens, so I appreciate it. Their apologizing often begins with, "You get on my nerves." I'm not saying any particular names. But I really began to sit with and think about this. like why is it so hard? Like why is it so different for different people? And honestly, this stuff follows you into other relationships too. It follows you into your job relationships. It'll follow you into, although I will argue, and this is a conversation for another day, sometimes your job gets the best version of you. You don't play about your money and you abide by those rules to protect your money. I digress. But there are, I don't know, they're just different type of apologizers. And I think I struggle with, I was on a train of thought, child, but you gonna bear with me. I got attention issues. You all right. I think these types of things follow you into relationships. That's where I was going. I think that they follow you into other relationships. They stay with you into adulthood. Whether it's because you avoid apologizing in a certain way, just like any other thing, or you do it because that's what you're used to. And sometimes you get used to a lack of closure on the whole. Sometimes you get used to a lack of closure for things that deeply wounded you, and sometimes they're not superficial. But it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and I'm gonna just say my 2 cents about why a lack of closure can be dangerous. One, I think it begins to create a narrative I'm not saying you're gonna always get it, to be clear, but sometimes a lack of closure, the avoidance methods, whoever the one that offended, whether they feel like they were actually right or wrong, or it's neutral, the other person that felt the harm, or the hurt rather, there may be a lack of closure, and that lack of closure can sometimes begin to spin a narrative in their mind about the truth of that situation. And if you continue to not apologize, not confront in a healthy way what happened in a situation, which can be one and the same or two different things, to be clear. Because sometimes you can apologize, but, maybe the situation isn't wholly resolved. Nevertheless, stay with me. I think that you can sometimes create a narrative in your head because of the lack of closure that continues to sit between you and that person over multiple things. It can make you bitter with that person over time. They begin to believe very specific things about you that may not be aligned to your intention, but because you're not willing to engage in a little bit of healthy conflict resolution, talk, name it, it compounds over time. The thoughts in their head, the narrative about your relationship and how you see them can take on a life of its own if you don't bring some resolve to things when you mess up. And I'm going to tell you, apologizing does not mean you're a bad person. If I'm wearing 5-inch stilettos and I crush your baby toe by accident, maybe we were on the metro or something and I stepped backwards and then, it does not mean I'm a bad person. These accidents happen, we're human. It just means that I'm sorry that you're having a negative and difficult experience and that I played some part in it. It doesn't, I'm sorry is not a reflection of intention. And conflict resolution, I guess in some ways conflict resolution can feel scary for the person apologizing. But who taught them and what taught them that owning a mistake is a bad thing, or that it is bad for you? Maybe within owning mistake and confronting mistakes, there is some deeper personal issues or hurt there. And some people just raggedy. Some of y'all just raggedy. I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all my boo baes. Y'all not raggedy, but maybe some people you have close acquaintances with are. But it can be hard. And I know that we all have had different experiences in our lives, in our lifetimes. But there's nothing wrong with a healthy apology. It does not change your value. It does not change anything about you. Honestly, it actually cultivates respect for the recipient. It helps to protect sometimes relationships. Now, a lot of what I'm saying is under the context of some bi-directional respect, some bi-directional trust building, going in both directions. If somebody just raggedy as all outdoors, I mean, baked at 450 degrees, hot mess, then that apology may just fall to the ground, but at least it's all for you. Forgiveness is a conversation for another day, but apologizing, I think also in some ways that sometimes, depending on who we're dealing with, we may not get the apology, but we have to commit to protecting our peace. We have to commit to creating boundaries that protect our peace, whether it's, not hanging out with that person that does the thing or whatever. This is probably the hardest in familial situations. Being careful about who we let in a friend circle. It could look like a lot of different things, but I don't know. It was just on my mind. Drop into the comments. What is the most raggedy apology you've ever gotten? And what's the best one you've ever gotten? On a scale of 1 to 5, your ability to apologize, 1, barely, I plead the 5th, and 5, child, it don't hurt me. I did what I did. My bad. Sorry. It's whatever. I'm an expert at this if I need to be. Drop it in the comments. Scale of 1 to 5. Best and worst apology. Don't be afraid to apologize. You lose nothing. You're still important. You're still valuable. Keep it moving, boo. Hope you have a great day. Love you. Bye.